Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am back today. I have a very exciting video for you. Today I want to show you my winter decks list as well as some books that I'll be reading. Before we get started, I just want to let you know that I am sick again. I was unable to upload a video last week because my whole family got, I think it's called hand, mouth, and foot, or hand, foot, and mouth. The word escapes me at the moment. And now I just have some congestion, sore throat, and a cough. I think it's left over from that virus. So forgive me, I'm a little congested. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. I will try and edit out any hacking that I end up doing. If I have like an uncontrollable cough, I'll try to edit that out. So this video might seem a bit more edited than usual, but other than that, I would love to get started on this list. So a new addition to my little tarot family or my tarot collection is the Yuletide Tarot. So I absolutely love the guidebook. It's the traditional like magazine-like Llewellyn guidebooks. I'm thoroughly enjoying the books, or the Llewellyn books, especially this one. I'm really enjoying all the different meanings. You get a reversed divinatory meaning, and you get a significant amount of information about each card, as well as you get some keywords. So I absolutely love the Llewellyn guidebooks, I definitely have to admit. And I'm loving the images. I think that the images on each card really get to the heart or the core of what each card means. So I want to show you the actual deck. So I keep pulling the Justice card. I've been doing a lot of inner child work, and I just absolutely love the Justice card and how it's portrayed within this deck. As you can see, the suits are renamed. So Good Cheer is cups, canes is swords, gifts is, of course, your pentacles, and wands is candles. So it's a brilliant deck. I find that they really get to the core of Yule or Christmas, and the energies that come with that time of the year. As well as I think that the imagery within the tarot system here presented, the artwork is very true to Rider-Waite-Smith. So I do really enjoy it. I think that it's very brilliantly made. There are some really wonderful depictions of some of the meanings of the cards. I'm looking forward to doing a full review for you so that you can get sort of my thoughts and opinions on some of the card meanings, as well as some of the depictions and how I feel about this deck overall. I'm really enjoying it. I think it's perfect for this time of the year. And I have a sweet spot for Christmas as well as Halloween. I know I've mentioned it a few times on my channel. I'm sure you guys are well aware. I'm really enjoying using this deck for inner child work. Also, I kept the box. This is probably the only Llewellyn box that I'm keeping. It's such a pretty box. And then I think I just got this from, I don't know, some samples that I got at Shoppers Drug Mart. I just thought it looked so perfect with the Yuletide Tarot. So a new member of my collection, I actually pre-ordered this deck back in July off Barnes & Noble because I couldn't find it at any of my local stores for pre-order. I fell in love with the artwork as soon as I saw the deck being previewed. And I've been using it. I just got it in, I think, earlier this week or the end of last week. I can't exactly remember. As you know, things have just been crazy, so forgive my terrible memory, but I'm loving it's like a glittery gilded edge. I'm very intrigued by the artwork. I think that this is such a beautiful deck. I've been really enjoying it. I've been using it all week. With my triple goddess spread, my daily triple goddess spread. If you're new to this channel, I will link the video down below and in the cards, if I remember, where I talk about that spread. But I do really enjoy this deck. I'm still getting to know it, so I'm gonna reserve my significant thoughts on this deck until I get to know the deck a bit better. But as you can see, it's very beautiful artwork. I've actually followed the artist. I'm hoping she does a tarot deck sometime in the future because it's just such a beautiful deck. I don't think I have anything like this too. It's very unique. It has its own voice. Very lunar energy. It's a very feminine feeling deck, and I think I pulled out to work with this winter as well my Orion's Animal Tarot. I think it would pair actually really nicely with this deck. I thought we could do a side-by-side together. I like that it provides a nice balance with the animal and person energy here. And they just complement each other. This does have really bright, vibrant colors, whereas this deck doesn't have very much color in it. I think that the color is probably very selective within the deck. Again, I'm still getting to know the deck, so that's just my opinion right now. But I do think that they do sort of go well together. I'm sure this deck would go really well with a black and white deck as well. I just don't own any at the moment. So I think right now in my collection, this one suits it the best that I can find at the moment. I've been using it with the Yuletide Tarot as well. And they do pair very nicely together. And I don't mind the guidebook. I've been enjoying it. Hold on, let me pull it out for you. You can have a look. It's just a small blue angel guidebook. What I like, actually I forgot to mention, what I like about this new deck from Blue Angel is that they're skinny. So you'll get your keywords, you'll get your card name that you can look up, the card messages by the card name in your contents. And then you'll get like a little affirmation, and then your card meaning, and then you'll get a reflection, which I really do enjoy the reflections. Sometimes they really hit the mark for me. So that is the Soul Mirror Oracle. So one of you lovely subscribers on my channel said that you actually use this deck around this time of the year, around the Yule, winter, or Christmas. So I thought I'd give it a try. As I've mentioned on my channel before, I don't identify as a witch. There's nothing wrong. Like in my opinion, I don't think that there's anything wrong with identifying as a witch. Just to me, I'm still sitting with what it means to be a witch. It's more than just a title. It's more than just a word. There's a lot of tradition as well as ancestry. There's a lot behind, you know, being a witch. So for me, I like to sit with it. Although I do feel that there is some practices that I engage in that could be considered witchcraft. I think there's a lot within our society. There's a lot of traditions and practices that could be considered witchcraft that are a fundamental part of a lot of our lives throughout society. So there are some folk practices, for example, like my father, on my father's side, he's Portuguese, my mother's Scottish. So there are lemons, like the use of lemons within Portuguese folk practices as for cleansing, really cleaning energy, and negativity, etc. Like it's a very cleansing herb, not herb, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's very cleansing. And my grandmother, for example, she used a lot of lemons, like lemon scented everything, lemon scented detergent, lemon scented soaps, something that my sister and I also picked up. I find lemon to be particularly powerful when it comes to cleansing my home. And I think that that's because of our ancestry. So, right, so before I went on that, so the Green Witch Tarot, as I said, on my mom's side, we are Celtic. My mother's Scottish. So I do find that I'm incredibly drawn to Celtic witchcraft decks, such as the Green Witch Tarot, and a deck that I pre-ordered, the Witch Sister Tarot. It's coming out on December 8th, so I've pre-ordered that deck. I am extremely drawn to that deck, and I understood, like, the deck felt very Celtic to me. It felt like it had a very Celtic energy, just like this one, but it felt different from this one. And I recently found out on Lisa Pepez's channel that it's because it's based off of Scottish mythology. So I was hooked. I was like, well, that explains why I got it, because there is, I haven't mentioned this before on my channel, but my father is, he is an abusive alcoholic. So we weren't around, like we weren't allowed around my family or my mom's side of the family very much until later on in my life. So I think that's why I'm so incredibly drawn to these Celtic decks as well, like especially that one with the Scottish, it being really rich in Scottish mythology and lore. It's a part of me that I can sort of indulge in, I guess. That's probably why I'm so incredibly drawn to it. There's aspects of me probably in my ancestry within that deck. At least that's what I'm hoping, and that's what I feel at this point. So I'm really looking forward to that deck. As I said, I pre-ordered it, so I'll just pop a picture of it on the screen. Another one that I pre-ordered is, I believe it's the Green Witch Oracle. It feels very witchy, as I said. Like, I do believe that I do have witch guides. One is the goddess of witchcraft, Hecate. So I'm pretty sure that there is witch or practicing witches within my ancestry. I'm pretty sure on both sides, the Portuguese as well as the Celtic. Next, I have the Wild Unknown Archetypes Oracle deck by Kim Kranz. I like to use it with my Wild Unknown Tarot, as most of you are probably well aware if you're not new to the channel. I'm obsessed with the Wild Unknown Tarot. I've owned it since I first started tarot. It was the very first deck that I purchased. And I have an incredible relationship with this deck. Maybe I'll put it over here. The deck it has a very raw, powerful energy. It's excellent for tapping into things that are just kind of sitting in your subconscious, which is a huge aspect of what I'm dealing with right now. And it's a huge part of my story. in my spiritual practice right now is doing a lot of inner child work. I do have a video coming on the channel that I'm working on right now, and I'm compiling a list of decks to use, as well as maybe some books, but I do think that this deck is a very powerful deck for doing any deep subconscious work. I do find that it's a very powerful deck. It speaks very intuitively. It really, similarly to also on the list, the Witch's Tarot by Burning Paper Hearts. It's very similar, that it really engages your intuition, and it's a very powerful deck for that. Even if you don't connect with animal energies, I do think that it's excellent at really engaging your intuition. You'll feel things when you work with this deck. The animals is something that you can work with separately. I don't think that you typically, or sorry, I don't think that you technically need to work with the animals. You can get completely different meanings from the cards than just your traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, or you can work with it using the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith meanings. So Wild Unknown Tarot with, I think it's Wild Archetypes, the Wild Unknown Archetypes Oracle deck. So this is excellent. There's places, so you have like the temple, the ocean, there's archetypes as well. You know, mother, father, crone, etc. I forgot. There's other, there's like concepts. It's an excellent deck to work with for spiritual path work, or even just to work with archetypes. It can be very powerful for that. If you're working with a specific archetype, or you want to work with a specific archetype, it can be excellent with that. I have now just added it to the list, is the, I think this is Ghosts and Spirits Tarot by Lisa Hunt, US Games, published deck. I think it would actually pair really well with this deck, because it runs on like mythology. A lot of these figures in the cards like that are presented are based in mythology, lore. I think there's an Edgar, the Tower is an Edgar Allan, oh my gosh. Edgar Allan Poe poem. And I think that it could just give you an additional layer to work with the archetypes. So just a thought that occurred to me, and I do feel that these two could pair, or they could be worked with that way. I'm sure maybe that was meant for one of you. Next up, the Witch's Tarot by the Burning Paper Hearts. I have an unboxing and review on the channel. I love this deck. This is probably one of my favorite decks that I have. It's excellent for this time of the year when things get really dark and you're feeling more drawn to doing shadow work, inner child work, or just diving into the subconscious, just doing subconscious or integration, I should say. So there is nudity in this deck. If that bothers you, you should skip to the next deck. So I've already gone over some of my favorite cards that I've drawn so far in my review video. I've talked, or I've gone into length about what I think about this deck, how it feels, etc., how I use it. I just think that because of the intense photography or imagery presented in the deck, it's excellent at really getting you to tap into your intuition, and it brings a lot of emotions to the surface. And it gives you a lot to work with because of that. These are like key components to doing shadow work, I think, is really tapping into your subconscious, exploring why certain cards might trigger a certain response, for example. And I find that this deck is excellent at really triggering certain emotions and feelings, as well as triggering your intuition. So this is the Witch's Tarot by Burning Paper Hearts. I think it's definitely earned a place on this list as well as in my collection. Oh, wow, I think we're at the last deck. So I have a Compendium of Witches Oracle. This is new to my channel. I purchased it about 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, last week for Hecate, one of Hecate's days was November 16th. I was gonna do a workshop on my channel, and unfortunately, because the whole family got sick with hand, foot, and mouth, or hand, mouth, and foot, I can't remember what it's called. Forgive me. I couldn't do it, so I did purchase this deck for that. I'm still getting to know it, but just based on my experiences, just working on that workshop, I have a very profound experience with this deck. It explores archetypes of witches. There's witches familiars as well as tools. It's a beautifully illustrated deck. I'm considering getting the art book on the artist Natasa. Forgive me if I didn't pronounce that right, but I'm considering getting the art book on her Etsy because I just think that it's beautiful, and I'm hoping that if there's more information included about each card on the art book than the guidebook provides, that it might be worth it. There's a lot of crone energy in the deck, which is why I wanted to use it to work with Hecate, on top of it just being a witchcraft focused deck. But the imagery is just wonderful to look at. I think that it can be very powerful around this time of the year because of the artwork and the crone energy. That is very significant throughout the deck. That is why I've included it in this list, and it is why I'm excited to work with it this winter. I mentioned this book before, I believe in my fall video or autumn video, that I purchased this book a while ago. I've been taking my time with it. This is Maiden to Mother, so it explores transitioning from the maiden archetype to the mother archetype and sort of how that unfolds within us, our lives, and how that can present itself. There's a lot of inner child exploration here, especially like being a parent or a mother to that inner child. So what I'm kind of on the fence about, just in my own personal experience, is the author Sarah here. She says that becoming a maiden, or sorry, becoming a mother from a maiden, it's not how, she doesn't work with that energetically as a rite of passage. So it's not you becoming a mother that triggers this transformation. It's like anybody can sort of move from being, you know, this maiden archetype to this mother archetype, which that's not how I experienced this. Mine was literally after giving birth to my daughter. It sort of just kind of brought a lot of things to the surface, a lot of work that needed to be done with my own inner child. So This is something that I'm continuing to read into the winter. I don't know how long it's going to take me, honestly. I purchased this next book quite a while ago. Tarot for Troubled Times. I haven't read much, to be honest with you. So far I'm enjoying it. There are some card meanings. I think it's just the major arcanas, and it's very, as you can see, it's very simple. It's not, you're not getting paragraphs of information. And I like simplicity. That's why I purchased it. It just gives you something to kind of jump off of. Gives you like a little bit of information, and then you can kind of go from there. And that's what I prefer. But there's journal prompts in here. You have like a whole chapter to read, and then it's been a while since I've read this book, so I'm trying to jog my memory. But yeah, like I think the first chapter sort of talks about the patriarchy, and then there's journal prompts. And then she goes into the card meanings in shadow. And then the final book I mentioned, I think in my autumn video as well, of Blood and Bones. This is working with shadow magic in the dark moon. So I think I maybe read one more chapter since my last, I think I mentioned it in my August, in my autumn fall video. I think I slightly mentioned it. So I think I've maybe read one or two more chapters since I filmed that video. So I'd like to continue reading it into the winter as well. I do think that you can work with the dark moon no matter what time of the year, but working with death energy is definitely something that can be experienced well into the winter. So I do think that this isn't just an autumn book. I'm looking forward to continuing working with this book into the winter, probably with my bone casting curio card set. So I will most likely be working with this deck. I think it's Between the Worlds Bone Casting and Curio Oracle. I was really drawn to this deck. I purchased it back in autumn. I know it's still autumn, although it feels like winter here in Canada, let me tell you. But I do want to work with this deck with this book. I've already worked with it a little bit. I got to the part in the book where it talks about the certain like bone meanings animal list. So you get like your correspondences for each animal, as well as correspondences for bones. So I was working with the deck with this book in that way. And I really quite enjoy working with both of these, both the book and the deck together. So I wish to continue doing that into the winter as well. And I do think that these two pair very well together if you're drawn to working with like a deck and a book together. Okay, last but not least, I have my journal. This is my planner, and then I just use a regular paper journal for my like everyday writing. I'm almost done this journal. I know I've showed it to you a couple of times. I think I have like a very small amount of paper left. So I went ahead and I purchased this green because I feel like it's really festive. It goes with this time of the year. And I'll probably be finishing up my other journal soon. So I'm really looking forward to cracking open a new journal and doing more shadow work, inner child work in the future, in the next upcoming months, working in that journal. So my planner here, I think I've showed this once before on my, I think it was my moon phase video. So I just have like a couple of different spreads here, designed for Yule or winter, however you might pronounce that or identify with that. So here I just have like a simple spread, and then I just have like a fireplace scene with a mini calendar, and then I have my big spread. So I'll put my appointments in here, moon phases that I like to work with. I traditionally like work with the dark moon, or the new moon, the astrological new moon, as you might know it. Some full moons. My moon practice has been sort of all over the place with everything going on in my life, but the new moon is always a very important time for me because of my work with the goddess Hecate. So I just like to use this calendar for that, like just keeping track of appointments, moon phases, as well as keeping track of my period. So in my November one, as you can see, I've kept track of my period. I've some moon phases on here as well. And then here I just have like a simple spread for, I want to put some pictures because I usually have Christmas pictures taken. I had them last year since my daughter's been born. And then we're going to have pictures taken again this year. So I just have like a simple Christmas ornament design here that I still have to finish. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to do on this page yet. Maybe just like a Christmas tree, some presents or something. But that is my planner and my journal, the decks that I'm planning on using, as well as some pre-orders that I, some decks that I don't have in my possession at the moment. As well as I was thinking of picking up a Pluto book. I haven't decided fully yet. There's one, I think it's Hades Moon. There's like a book on Hades Moon and like how that can basically translate to you having mother issues. And I'm sure it goes into way more detail than that. And there's another one, I think it's Healing Pluto Problems. It hasn't been released yet. I'm sort of on the fence about getting that. So I will update you if I do consider getting those books, or if I do end up purchasing them. Of course, I'll give you a review. Let me know in the comment section below if you want me to do a review on anything in particular. I will give you a review once I get to know a deck, or if I've completed a book as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.